What up, what up, what up? It's your favorite shit-talking squirrel, back from the Darrell Brooks video. So today, we did a collab with Nawson and Alistair from Pact Nation. I'm sure you guys are familiar with both of their content, but if you're not, I'm going to leave links to their channels in the description. You have to be familiar with Pact Nation at this point. I mean, his videos are amazing. They have to be in your recommendeds. I was such a big fan of his before getting to do this content, and it's been such a trip to recently get to know him and kind of get friendly. It's like a very surreal experience, and we're also currently in the talks to possibly do another live stream as soon as possibly this Friday, so keep your eyes peeled for that. I'm not going to waste a lot of you guys' more time because I just want to jump right into it. I'm really proud of this collab and how it came out. We have a really in-depth examination of narcissistic personality disorder and how those psychoses may have played a role in the Waukesha Christmas parade attacks. So I'm not going to talk about it too much more. I just want to dive right into the content. You guys are going to love it. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it, shall we? Let's get this. So Alistair, this is Nasanum. I know you guys haven't met before, but we record these Darrell Brooks videos a lot, so introduce you to say hello.
Hello.
Hello, what's going on? Alistair from Pact Nation here.
You guys both have a background in microbiology. Nawson is a microbiologist. I find that fascinating.
Listen, isn't it hard, Nawson? I mean, come on. It was not the hardest major ever. By the way, if you hear weird noises in the back, it's my daughter. She's playing games.
Well, I
You're
have
fine.
nothing to compare it to. Do you? Do you have multiple degrees?
Good point. No, I do not. But all I know is that I studied hard and I didn't sleep.
What do you do as a main job?
So I used to work for Beth Israel Hospital and in the lab department, and then something disastrous happened in my career. I don't know if you remember, but during the SARS, the SARS outbreak that came out, the like every hospital got some grants, and I really wanted to work with the SARS, but unfortunately, the guy was like, "No, be quiet, have a seat. This is not going to happen." And I was like, "You know what? This is not really fun," and so I quit. And in quitting, I found a new career into fitness. That's the long story short, to be really quite honest. But it was very tumultuous because I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, I'm not making any money. How do I pay my rent?"
Well,
But
clearly the fitness thing is working out for you.
no,
You're in
it worked
incredible
out.
shape.
It worked out even in terms of like changing careers. But I did a very irrational decision, and it could have gone bad very quickly. Yeah. At 27, 25, 25, 27 is when I transitioned.
That's
But
still
like
relatively early.
shortly after I graduated, I was like, F this.
They say that a typical adult will change careers, I think, like 2 or 3 times. I'm pretty lucky. I've been in the same industry my whole life.
How about you, Nasanum?
I just ended up getting into the medical devices, so I've been in that. Still in that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
You guys ready to hate on some Brooks?
Darrell Brooks Haters Club.
Yeah. We got a professional panel. We make fun of this dude full time. Well, not full time, but we're definitely
Part-time.
DB hater professionals.
Do you guys have
Let's
any
get
snacks?
I got a coffee.
Okay, I got coffee, water, and some cashews. You, Nasanum?
Have a Mountain Dew.
All right. Okay.
Nice, man.
Let's go.
Let's get this.
But it's repetitive at this point. You get to a point where you're completely drained. You don't know what else you have to give.
You've dropped all the tears you can drop.
There was many many court dates in the beginning
I
of
skipped.
all these proceedings that I wasn't even sure if I can even come in the courtroom without breaking down.
I wasn't even sure if this court had subject matter
It was
jurisdiction.
times where I didn't even
I was
feel
gonna
like I was
say
gonna
he's
make
not
it.
he's not sure he was gonna break down. He didn't. When does he
He
come in
did
here
it.
and doesn't break down? Like, what is he even saying? Oh man, I could barely keep it together, bro. He
That's right.
exploded every day.
The
What is he
rule
saying?
of court proceeding. When I did have representation, it was times where I told my representation, no, I don't. And that wasn't because I just didn't want to come in the courtroom. It was because mentally I could not handle it.
Oh,
But
please.
you
I
still
couldn't.
elected to represent yourself. What contradicting ideals?
Yeah.
Going on a tangent about how he can barely handle being in the courtroom, yet you dismissed your attorneys. So you're looking for sympathy because you are so mentally unwell that you could barely be present in the courtroom. And yet you go on this whole fight about how you're competent and there's no jurisdiction and it's not your name. Like,
I
pick one side.
I know, and I can guarantee you, because he said, like, I told my attorneys, I said no. I can guarantee you, the attorneys were like, "Listen, MF, you're not getting away with this, so this is the best we can do." And he's like, "No, that's the only no I can think of him saying to the attorneys."
They
I
were probably
agree.
saying to him, like, good, stay in your fucking cell. Let us fight this for you. He would have been much better served to just not show up.
He probably presented some of the Sovsit arguments to them, and they're like, "We're not doing that."
1000%.
Yeah.
Having to be prepped for everything that I was gonna walk into. Them telling me, you know,
Sorry,
it's gonna
pause one more
be.
time. I'm pretty sure lawyers get held accountable, like their bar license can
Yes,
be stripped. So
yes,
they're not going to put their careers on the line for his nonsense.
exactly,
Yeah.
100%. And again, like I said, I think like I mentioned before, his lawyers at the time probably were like, "I don't know where you're getting your information from. I don't know what your goal here is, but your fact that you think you're gonna walk out of here walking free and go to the mall is not a possibility." And I think that's probably where they were fighting a lot. No, he really wanted to go home and take a shower.
This kind of atmosphere and expect this and expect this and it's just like, wow.
I
How
just
am I
can't
gonna do
even.
this? I want everyone to know though, when you walk out of the courtroom and the cameras aren't rolling anymore, you don't have the world looking at you anymore. That's when you can feel like you're human again. When you can.
Pause. So I had a lot of people commenting off of the new hearing how he's like put on weight and he's gotten real pale and he's now really quiet. That they are theorizing that he's fallen into a state of depression now that the spotlight has been taken off of
Yeah,
him.
yeah, he has. He has.
So I know, Alistair, you have a lot of familiarity with narcissistic personality disorder, so you could probably speak to this more educated than I can. Is part of their psychosis or unhealthy mental behaviors dependent on attention from third parties? I'm
Yes,
assuming to a certain extent they're thriving from the attention, good or bad. But could you
yes.
maybe elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, 100%. So pretty much what happens is that they don't have self-esteem, and so they don't value themselves high enough, and so they rely on third-party accolades to feel relevant. And so what happens when you put, say, a diagnosed narcissist like in a dungeon, they cannot feed, and therefore they're stuck with their own narrative, which is their true narrative, which is like, I'm horrible, I'm bad, I'm ugly, I'm stupid. Those thoughts actually goes through their head, and eventually it creates a depressive state.
It's
They,
so interesting because they're self-obsessed, but how they value that self-obsession and where they gain their self-worth is through the opinions of others. It's almost like
yes,
oxymoronic, like almost like
yes,
hypocritical ideals. Like if
yes,
you are so in love with yourself, why do you value the opinions of others so much? Like, wouldn't
yeah,
your the main opinion you value be your own?
no, because they don't even believe in themselves, so they need validation 24/7. That's why it's exhausting to be with one. You have to constantly tell them, "You're so amazing. You're so beautiful. You are the best." Like, who can do that all day? Not me.
Yeah, it's like the narcissism is extending from their own insecurities.
Yeah, that's what is doing the whole trial of Darrell Brook. He loved every second of it. Those whole antics, he loved it because he got attention.
I've said
Now,
that too, and you can even catch him very frequently darting his eyes over to the camera to make sure he's like literally and figuratively in the spotlight.
yeah, and because this is like the end, the sentencing. Like, this is the trial coming to an end. He's actually panicking. He's like, "What's going to happen after this?" Because his limelight is coming to an end. He doesn't give a rat's ass about the victim at all. Nah, all he cares about is, would I be seen?
That would
And it
make
makes sense.
sense
Go ahead.
for how long the speech is.
I
Because
was
this is the
literally just
last
about to
one.
say that.
This is the last one, and he had to hold on to it as long as he could.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's literally his last opportunity to get out all these thoughts that he wants to express to everybody, and
yes,
so it's consistent with what you're saying because he's trying to grasp onto that spotlight literally as long as he can to the point where he just starts rambling and he runs out of things to talk about. He still is trying to hold on to just the few fleeting moments as they pass by that he can to be in the public eye. Sad.
yes. It is very sad.
Go back to your cell. Drop your tears.
Sale.
Pray.
Literally.
Punch your mat if you're frustrated.
Doing the multiple
Sleep
descriptors
it
again.
off.
Why does he
Whatever
do
he may
this?
choose to do.
Multiple descriptors?
Yeah, it's
Oh
like
yeah, you're
whenever
right.
he
You're right. He's like restating the same thing just ad nauseum.
constantly needs to give multiple examples of whatever he's talking about. So, these chips, they're crunchy and tasty and salty, make you want to grab a drink of water.
And I wonder how things would be different if the cameras was rolling then. When we remove all this courtroom, how would it be then?
I don't get what he was trying to say here anyway. Do either of
he's
you?
he's projecting. So pretty much he said that, I wonder how this whole scenario would have been if cameras were not allowed in the room. And we all know the law is the law, right? That the camera doesn't change the outcome of what the law is going to be. And so it's essentially talking to us, or in this case, the judge and the viewers, like, he's letting us into one of his thoughts. I wonder how I would have reacted if there was no cameras around. I wonder if this whole thing would have been if there was no cameras around.
So is he
You know?
suggesting that the trial would have gone different? Like he's talking about the trial, right?
Yes.
He's saying that it could have gone more in his favor if there wasn't cameras on him.
No, he could have behaved differently if there was no cameras around.
Yeah, and so to that end, I understand what you're saying now.
He's
Son. Like
talking to himself. He's not talking to us. Like, he's almost like he's letting us into his thought process, like what he's thinking to himself. If that makes any sense. Like for
Yeah,
example, if I'm like, should I mow the lawn today? Like that's essentially what's happening right now. Is it's an extension of what he thought, what he thinks to himself.
Oh, so you're saying
well, like
he's not even trying to make an argument. He's just babbling.
No, this is
like we
how
said earlier,
demented.
right?
He's
Yeah,
so
he's
self-absorbed.
in the background of all of this. The backdrop to everything he's saying, like we said earlier, is him stretching out this spotlight as long as he can get it. So I'm sure at certain points he kind of gets lost in the sauce, so to speak. Like he
Yep,
rambles on so long
yep.
that we like um Alistair is saying, at certain points we literally just like get a window into his head as he struggles to connect the dots between what is actually physically coming out of his
Yep.
mouth and the connectors that are firing in his brain.
Also the biggest takeaway is that look, it's almost 2 hours in, right? And he hasn't said a single word about the victim. Like all of this rambling, it's all about him and how he is the victim. He is a consequence of the cameras. He is a consequence of the system. He is the consequence of his mental illness. It's like it's so demented. His concept of reality is not like me and you.
Yeah,
Not
for
at all.
sure. Yeah. It's funny
Even
to
in the
see.
context of when he does speak to the victims, it's in the context of defending himself against what
Yeah,
they said during sentencing.
exactly. What an idiot.
It's ridiculous, so preposterous. When he's supposed to be making a case to the judge for like, don't sentence me to life, he takes
I
that time to
know.
be like, I can't believe you fuckers said this about me, bitches. Before we play, I do think there is something to be said to the fact that if there were not cameras in this courtroom, I do think this would have been a different trial.
Same.
Whether or not that has any validity to what he's saying or the outcome of the case, I think is irrelevant. But just to speak to that a little bit more, like we said earlier, he's very much playing up to the camera. I had somebody say at one point that he's almost like playing an over exaggerated character from like the 80s, like, and that narrative constantly switches, whether he's the dedicated attorney or the persecuted black man or the thug who wants to
Be a rapper.
persecute everybody. Yeah,
Oh
he's
my God.
constantly
What a great point.
switching the masks of what he's trying to be in that moment. And
What a
if
great
that
point.
if the quote unquote mask were of two fallen off and Darrell is actually able to just approach this case from a logistical standpoint without worrying about the outside eye, how would have this trial have looked? I think he still probably would have gone for the sovereign beliefs,
Oh
but
yeah.
would have been presented in a totally different way and probably a more concise and well founded. Still
Yeah.
absurd. Don't get me wrong, but better argued at least.
Can you imagine if this man was actually smart? You know how dangerous he would have been? My,
Ugh.
oh my God.
Yeah.
He is very stupid.
We've all done things in our life that we regret, that we're not proud of, that we don't know what we were thinking.
We were being an asshole.
Yeah, always doing that.
Look at Sue Opera.
I know she has the best reactions. When they cut away to her faces.
Sue Opera. Look, even the judge is like, "What is going on?
That's
What
been like
is
a roller
happening?"
coaster for me in this year, a roller coaster. And obviously, just everyday life. Some days are better than others. That's just life in general. Some days are just better than other days.
And I don't think he knows what he's saying. I
I heard
think
my
even
best
he
friend
doesn't know where he's getting at.
speak a little bit earlier about guess it would be more happier times, but even then, you put on a smile to hide the pain. Long before November 21st, 2021, long before that day, I was struggling.
Can you pause it real quick? So he spent a good 5 minutes with mostly silence spots. And every time he spoke, it came down again to his childhood. What he fails to understand is that this is not your therapy sessions, Darrell, right? This is not the moment where you go and go, oh, well, when I was 5, this is what happened to me. No, it's completely irrelevant. But to him, he wants you to feel so pity. Well, he wants the judge to feel an immense amount of pity so she can change the ruling. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's gonna run into when I was a kid and when I was a boy, I struggled so hard. Nobody cared about me and nobody liked me, and now look what happened to me. Hmm.
The
Long.
judge brings it up in the new hearing. So much of this is him deflecting accountability. It's like, and him bringing up these childhood issues is almost offensive in the face
Offensive.
of, we are asking you to address your sentencing and how your position could or could not affect my decision in that. And to him to go back to what is more or less an average everyday upbringing to attempt to solicit, like you said, pity
Yeah,
from the judge is pretty gross when he has denied that to even a single victim of his.
I know. By the way, nice pause position. Good job, Newsom. Look at that. Hmm.
You mean his face?
His face is like,
Yeah.
whatever. That face explains everything we just said. Good
Yeah.
job, Newsom. Good job. Good job. I mean, Nawson. Good job.
Could you please apologize to your 68 victims? But
Yeah, that's
Judge, I ate spam. When I was a kid, I ate spam.
so funny.
Before. Feeling dead inside. Then feeling hopeful.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
Then
laugh.
feeling depressed.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh at what he said, feeling dead
Then feeling
inside.
happy.
Someone in the back started coughing, and yeah, that was funny.
Feeling dead inside.
Right after he
I
said,
didn't catch that
right after he
before.
said feeling dead inside, someone was like, see
I just got that.
if I can replay it. Oh my god, I was like, honey, LOL.
There are lots of people feeling dead on the outside. Oh God.
Then feeling happy. Then feeling upset. Just
I think it's further back. If you
feeling
want to.
dead
Oh,
inside.
there it goes. Did you hear that?
Then
Yeah.
feeling hopeful.
I don't think that was a social gesture.
Then
I
feeling
think that was just a
depressed.
regular
No.
cough.
There's like one in
Then
every
feeling
trial.
happy.
There's somebody that just coughs
Then
and you
feeling
just hear them
upset.
through the whole trial.
Just up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. %90 of the time, not even knowing why you're going from point A to B.
Why?
Why is it going like this?
Why?
He ends up doing that like 3 or 4 times. Going to A to B, like shaking his head back and
So I
forth.
think you
Very strange
do
mannerisms.
a lot of things to numb that. Some people have different things that help them numb it. Some people turn to drugs. Some people turn to alcohol. Some people
Drive
turn to
through a
many
Christmas
different
parade.
things.
Oh my god.
This was one
Sorry.
part where I think it's generally accepted that he was a drug addict. But I was wondering why he wouldn't have brought that up here, because that would have been a nice sympathy point for him.
He's
Because
only addicted. He's only addicted to weed. I see people try to argue that he was a meth addict. I put no stock in that claim.
Yeah, I thought that
yeah, you
myself.
mentioned you mentioned because it's so hard to get off meth. No, I think it's he didn't bring it up because he wanted to go with a story of I have mental illness, therefore you need to put me in an asylum, judge.
Oh, so you're
So
saying that might have conflicted somewhat.
yeah,
Yeah.
with the outcome of the story he's trying to spin. Now the best part at the end of all this, judge is like, honey, I don't have that control.
Well, I don't. I honestly don't know if he has the forethought to even come up with a concise narrative like that, because throughout his entire defense, he is literally just throwing anything at the wall that will stick. I
Yeah,
think Nassan's original idea of that, he literally just didn't, like I said, he didn't even have the foresight to think that, hey, this marijuana addiction thing would help me, and the fact that he didn't is more
yeah,
telling than anything, because he goes for sympathy from getting government cheese. Like, if he
government
thought he could
cheese.
extract the smallest amount of sympathy, if he genuinely was a meth addict, he would have played that for every sympathy point he could squeeze out of it, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah, you both are right. Which is why thank God he's not that smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people isolate themselves. Some people, however, however you deal with it, it's how you deal with it. At that point in my life, I chose to
To
put up a
drive through.
front. No one
Beat the
seen
shit
me.
out of my girlfriend.
I know,
For
right?
how I truly felt, then there would be no questions.
I know, right? Like as if he's dealing with his emotional issues in a healthy way anyway.
Yeah.
It's not like he got anything under control.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, good point.
You see someone and they always have an upbeat appearance, or seem to be smiling, or seem to be in a joyful mood. There's no reason to like what is there a question?
That's definitely not you, Darrell.
How
Yeah,
much
he was a miserable
turmoil could it
cockroach
be?
every day. All day, every day.
The first thing they would say is every time I see them, they're okay.
He was putting up a front of being happy while he was beating the shit out of his girlfriend,
It's
even though
not okay.
secretly he was sad.
Yeah.
He was sad while he was
The,
beating on her.
the sad clown. He
It's
smiles
not.
and grins as he beats the shit out of her, but he's really crying inside.
The judge falling asleep. Look at her. Oh, she's falling asleep.
I miss that.
Her blink was like 2 seconds long.
Yeah. Struggling to stay awake. Some of these breaks,
But I
man, it
do
is
believe one
brutal.
thing though. As long as you have breath in your body,
Yeah.
no matter what you're going through, where you may be, what struggles you have, what you can't figure out, you have to find a way to press forward.
Pause there for a second. That that was very significant when I saw this during the trial, and I never talked about it. I did. I remember taking notes about that. So here, he's saying a statement that's supposed to be inspirational, right? He's like, as long as you have breath in your body, keep pushing. You can still do it. But this is where the big disconnect happens. He is the reason why 6 people have lost their breath, right? So how is he going to be inspirational where he's the cause where 6 people are no longer breathing?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
It's
at that moment I was like, oh boy. So I remember I took notes about it. I never brought it up until seeing it now, but it's this delusion sense of grandeur. Like he really thinks he's the bee's knees.
He thinks this is like his Martin Luther King moment, but in the backdrop of this being your sentencing remarks for hitting 70 people with your car, it comes across as so completely tone deaf and insensitive. It's
so
disgusting.
insensitive. Like, oh, if you still have breath in your body, you can do whatever you want. Yeah. What did you do to 6 people? And more, really.
But you're right. He's treating this like a motivational speech.
Yep.
And that is not the context we are in today, sir.
You have to keep faith, and you have
Faith,
to press forward.
truth,
Breath.
oath,
I think
respect.
Tacit.
the Apostle Paul said it best.
Pastor Paul.
Oh my God, I missed that. Apostle Paul.
Pastor Paul.
Said it best when
Good old
said,
Pastor Paul. Every knee shall bow.
one thing I do, forgetting what's behind me and straining toward the upward call.
I ended up looking that up. That's actually a pretty close to the quote directly from the Bible, which surprised me.
Oh, that means Mary on the Wall and Don Woods have something to do with that. He's not that smart to come up with that. He doesn't read the Bible. How is he going to know exactly what that verse is? No. He had a talk with his 2 harpies, and they told him, okay, you go over there, you talk to that judge with the good hair, and you tell her that you read the Bible.
Yeah, go get a pen, honey. Write these words down.
Write these words down. Exactly. There's no way.
That or someone in my comments section said what you just said, that it was either his mother or his grandmother that gave him that quote. My original theory was that they have like sermons in his jail, and that's like the most recent sermon he watched, so he just parroted the same thing he heard.
Oh, can you imagine being one of the inmates and seeing this and be like, that motherfucker just stole that from our service on Sunday.
So he went to jail with taking notes with a book, with a notebook.
Maybe that's who Pastor Paul is. Maybe he's the fucking jail minister. He's in jail himself for murdering his wife. But
no, Apostle Paul is from the Bible.
Oh, okay. My bad.
He thought he was quoting just to some person he knows.
Look, Nawson, I don't know why I'm calling you the governor of California. Sorry, Nawson, but listen, me and Beefy are clearly going to go to hell.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know that either?
I don't know.
Pastor Paul. It's my buddy.
Paul, homie.
Which Christ has taken a hold of him.
Doing the Lord's work. Pastor Paul.
Straining forward, which acknowledging that it's difficult. Acknowledging that there'll be opposition, there'll be hurdles to jump, there'll be mountains to climb. It's not gonna be easy. Acknowledging that by saying straining to move forward.
So infuriating.
You're right. This really is like his Martin Luther King moment.
Well, you said that.
That's what I've been learning.
Yeah, well, I was echoing austere sentiments is what I was trying to say.
Is it frustrating that sometimes people mistake that for not caring? Yeah.
Okay, what? Did you hear what he just said? I can't believe it. So he's pretty much, so that sentence right there is him justifying why he is not showing outwardly, whatever the word is, remorse for the victims. That's it, right there. He said, no, I feel it inside. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't even catch that when I watched this. Oh my God, what a monster.
pretty gross.
Very frustrating.
Yeah, his stubborn refusal to show remorse is offensive for sure.
I mean, this was his whole standpoint from the beginning, right? I'm sorry you can't see how many
Yeah,
tears I dropped.
As hard as it
says the
is,
squirrel.
Sorry, you're too stupid to realize that I am sorry.
Right, right. Can you believe he said that? Unbelievable.
you cannot turn back the hands of time. You can't. As much as I wish I had the power to do that, I can't.
Do that.
So I have to look at life going forward, not backward. I have to look at reality. I've moved past the actual tragedy of the day of November 21st, 2021, but I have not moved past uplifting this community in prayer, and I will continue to do that until it's my time to pass on. I won't
What
stop
the F?
uplifting the communities in prayer, the victims, the families. Regardless of how anyone feels, I will continue to pray for them because that's what I want my heart to reflect. And I don't want it to be
Sorry.
misinterpreted what I'm saying by that, by saying I moved past the actual day. To clarify that so there's no misconception, it's that none of us can go back and change what happened. We can't.
Can you pause it? So, I first of all, I giggled because the A team was not buying any of it. I guarantee you they probably were writing or drawing or I don't know, planning the dinner for the night. Nobody was listening to this fool and what he was saying. I mean, can you believe he just told us that, you know, I pray for the victim and that should be enough. And you all should be happy with the fact that I pray for the victim. That's insane.
Yeah. It's like
I
he's holding all the victims to expectations he would not hold himself to. Like, if I'd gotten run over by you, I wouldn't expect anything but you to pray for me. So
Yeah.
for you to be upset that I'm not living up to my own expectations is stupid.
Yeah. And that whole like, I can't go back and change it. That's pretty much saying it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, I wish they have to press a button when like a butler comes in with a white glove and smacks you in the face, because that's like a white glove smack moment, right? It
Yeah.
is what it is. Whoosh, because
Get it right. Stop it. Stop. Get it right. No.
there's no way he's praying for everybody anyway.
No.
no, he's taking a
It's
good
all
ass
bullshit.
nap, eating my tax dollars meal,
Yep.
and I don't know, watch because they have internet there, so clearly he watches the YouTube. Hi, Darrell.
Yeah, I was surprised to hear that they have like internet access and
They
stuff.
have everything.
He's probably seen my videos.
No, he's seen our videos. Yes, 100%. Because he's seen our videos. I've talked about the mask, and he complained that I wear this mask not because. And I was like, what? Did you watch my freaking videos? Listen, that's not even the point. The point is that he's enjoying a good old life, fed 3 times a day. He's not even exercising. He's lounging. Look at that, staring
Yeah,
at a
especially
TV.
where he was homeless. I've heard there are a lot of homeless people that will commit crimes in the wintertime when it gets really cold because the conditions in jail
Really?
are better than out in the street. And like you'll notice in the wintertime if you're trying to get into like detox treatment or mental health facilities, it can be really hard to get a bed because living out in the street is so hard. It can get so cold some nights where you have nowhere to go that it's like vacation for them. I've been in some detox treatments where it's like a hotel. And with Obama insurance, like for example in Massachusetts with Mass Health, they'll put you up in a 30-day detox treatment free of cost. And
Wow.
I was amazed at some of the conditions in those detox treatments. Like if I was living on the street, I'd be fucking banging on the door to get into one of those facilities as much as I possibly could.
Be committing crime just so I can have a good old time in jail.
Yeah.
How's
So
the
like you say that as a joke, but is really not that far removed
I
from
had
what's
no
going on.
idea
Like
that's like
he was
reality.
he was
Wow.
living in a vehicle. So his like granted
Uh,
he can't go out and smoke his weed and beat on his girlfriend and finagle all the crap that he probably did when he was on the outside, but he ain't hating life that much. I
yeah.
guarantee it.
And honestly, look, I'll be honest, that's one of the things that it really irritates me because, our tax dollars are expensive. We pay a lot of taxes, and it just irritates me when true criminals are having a good old time and showing my money. Oh,
$13 and change a day it costs per inmate, and
it
he's sentenced to
just,
1,000 years.
oh, 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 oh.
So that's wait, let's see, 13 times 356. $4,628 a year times 1,000. So yeah, if he could live forever, which he can't, it would cost government money
Look at
$4,628,000
that. We
to
just gave
take
him,
care of Darrell.
look at that. We just gave him that much money.
Yeah,
Oh, that hurts.
a
Oh.
lifetime worth of spaghetti?
yeah.
And hot water and heat and a bed. Oh,
That
And no
doesn't make
government cheese or buggy cereal.
right. And they complain they have no holidays.
No, they do. They celebrate like you ever seen
Oh
60
my
Days
God.
In? They show the
Damn
Thanksgiving
it.
meal. They get like the whole tray with the pumpkin pie and the mashed
Okay.
potatoes and the
What?
stuffing. There was one guy on that 60 Days In show where he was talking about the tray they got on Thanksgiving, and he was telling the cameras like that was the best Thanksgiving meal I've ever had, and I'm not even
Oh
kidding.
my God. Okay, that's it. We have to commit crimes. I'm done. Okay, Beefy and Nasanum, I hope you're ready to take care of me.
Yeah, we'll plot our bank robbery when we're done here today.
Exactly.
mean that
Got internet access,
my
we can
life
still
has
make
to
YouTube videos.
continue
Right?
to be defined by
Play games.
We'll infiltrate the jail that Darrell Brooks is in to like get the interview.
100%.
Put me in the sector that Brooks is in. I need to get the interview for my YouTube channel.
Can't breathe. I can't breathe.
I refuse to continue to live at that time because that time is past.
I'm over it.
Yeah.
We can always say shoulda,
Oh wow, look
coulda,
at her. She's like
No,
woulda.
the
getting
judge was
angry.
pissed. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Her look has shifted much more to like contempt now.
Contempt. It used to be I'm falling asleep to contempt because he's insulting the victims. That's why.
You saw her breath start to quit. Like she's almost like fucking asshole.
Nobody knows what they'll do until they're in that situation. It's easy to say, I would have did this, I could have did this, I should have did this, I would have did that. You never know what you're gonna do until you actually there.
Can
I
you
know
pause?
I was about to say, I know for a fact I wouldn't have driven through the Christmas
Yes.
parade if put me back into the driver's seat where you were at.
Yes. It's important to clarify that what he just said is 100% not true, because I did some research, and there's a misconception that when you suffer a mental illness, you become so unpredictable to where you're like unsafe, and that's not true. It's a stereotype, and so right here on Beefy Has Anxiety. That is not true. Okay, so you could have the most horrendous mental situation. It does not mean that you turn into a murderer. Just needs to be said.
We've talked about this on the channel before, because I used to just very immediately, when I heard somebody was struggling with mental illness problems, defer to like, oh well, you don't know what somebody else is going through, and so like I'm not gonna comment on somebody else's struggle. But to that same point, like you're saying, mental illnesses can be very manageable if you are proactive in managing them. Just
Yeah,
because you are suffering from a mental health disease is no excuse for being an asshole.
yeah.
And that
And
was like a go ahead.
no, I just said yes.
Oh, what I was about to say is it took me a really long time to learn that lesson because I'm very empathetic by nature and I want to take care of people and try to afford them at, at all times the very basic rights that anyone would have as a human,
Yeah,
to anybody that has value. But
yeah,
it took me to learn painfully, unfortunately, that just because you are going through a mental health crisis or you are suffering mentally from X disease does not mean you are excused from being an asshole, like going
yeah,
out and murdering somebody. Those
yeah.
two are not necessarily explicitly connected.
Yes. And again, Nawson, good job on the pause, because perfect facial expression what we're talking about. Because now, Brooke is like, huh, because we're talking about huh moments. Good
Yeah.
job, Nawson. Good job.
I did it.
Does anyone think I haven't asked myself that? Man, I should. Why didn't I?
Axe.
What does it matter now? How many times can I pound my fist against something and say, "Why?
What?
How could this? Why, how many times before you just like
I do not remember that.
I don't
Can we see
remember
that one more time?
I don't remember that. Oh my God.
Can you
know
roll
what?
that back, please?
how many times? How many times can I pound my fist against something and say, "Why? How could this? Why, how many times before you just like have to move forward?"
No, I don't remember that either.
Oh
Okay.
man, this dude is a meme machine.
Oh my God, he's a meme machine.
Forgiveness.
Forgiveness. Never.
Matthew 6:14 and 15. Forgiveness.
Oh,
Oh,
he
here
did another
goes.
quote?
Yes. No.
Dives
Yes.
right
This
into the
is
religious text.
okay. This is where we know Don Woods. What you doing?
Oh, he
Because I don't
wrote
even
this
think.
down.
For if you forgive other
Oh
people
God.
when they sin against you, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if
What?
you do not forgive others their sins, your Father will not forgive your sins.
Oh,
Oh,
so
Pause.
pause
Pause.
it.
Okay, go, Beefy.
This is so frustrating. Like the level of petulance, like he is frustrated that they are not forgiving. He's almost
Yep.
judging the victims for not
Yep.
forgiving him. It is so fucking
Yep.
frustrating.
Yep.
Like to go on your whole high horse and judge everybody else about not forgiving you and not, reaching your bar of expectation
Yep.
for what's acceptable from a victimhood to
Okay.
then turn around and then spout this crap. It's fucking
Okay.
abhorrent.
Okay. Nawson, you go.
Oh, I was surprised that his quote was actually like a lecture for us and not
Yes.
like himself. Like everyone else did something wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. What a nincompoop. Honestly, honestly, it's like what? I can't believe that came out of his mouth. But
Okay, your turn. Your turn.
no, but because look, here's the thing. The thing is that if first of all, you don't have to forgive anybody you don't want to forgive. I think there's another there's you guys, I get therapized once a month, and my therapist is um Cher. No, she's not. She's not. She's gold. But listen, the thing is, when I talk to my therapist, she's like, you everybody's different. If you don't feel like forgiving someone, don't force yourself to forgive someone. Not everybody deserves your forgiveness. You can move on without forgiving, right? And like he is expecting us to like say it is what it is, Darrell. Come on, come over. Let's have a little kiki. No, not at all. Doesn't work like that. I don't think anybody could ever really forgive him. What? Especially after all these words, even people who are not even affected by the Waukesha parade, they're not even going to forgive this man. Do you know what I mean? It's getting even more and more irritating the more he talks because he really is like saying to us, we are the one who are stupid. He's like, we are stupid for not understanding him, and we are idiots for not forgiving him, and therefore we must do better. Can you
I
imagine?
think really important statement what you just said there. Like, you cannot get mad at somebody for not forgiving them on your timeline.
Yeah,
I forget the exact way you worded it, but you worded it better. uh, how'd you say it? Do you remember?
that you don't need forgiveness to move on. Sometimes you could clearly move on without needing to forgive. Like
Yeah.
forgiveness is like you said, it's on your timeline. It's not a prerequisite of moving on. No,
And
no,
you can't get angry at somebody for not forgiving you on the
yeah,
timeline that you expect. You
yeah.
cannot you cannot control how somebody's going to react
Okay.
to what you subjected them to.
Ugh, ugh.
So frustrating.
But again, Nawson, good pause photo.
Yep.
Good job.
Like he gets served and he's in the background going like,
Yeah, because
damn,
we're yelling at
damn.
the yes,
Well,
yes, yes.
with all the stuff he does with his mouth, it's not hard to get a weird pause
Yeah.
in him.
It's like a game of percentages. You're
That
more
mouth
than
is
likely at
that
one
mouth
one
is
one.
always contorting in some weird position.
Yeah.
You know what the
So
weirdest
true.
you know what the weirdest lip position is that I see with him? It's like he does this thing where his lower lip gets really small in one area. You know what I'm talking about? It kind of like
Oh yeah.
it
Mhm.
pulls out like as if there's like a fishing line stuck to it, pulling it out. Like what kind of muscles does he have in his lip that allow him to do that?
Yeah, I know you're saying he's like talking at one side of his mouth all gangster. Yeah, he does that a
Oh
lot.
my god, that's so funny. Mm. Can't believe he has internet.
That's Jesus himself, God himself. I point no fingers towards anyone in judgment to say, how could you say this? And how, like I said before, how people process this tragedy is how they choose to.
Oh,
I could jump up and down and yell and scream about what was said in regards to me, but why?
Kind of like that. Like you see how his lower lip is doing that? It's
Yeah.
like it's like it's getting pulled on by a
oh,
fishing
I
line.
see what you mean by the fishing line. Wow, Nawson, good one. Hmm.
Everyone has to make their own peace with God, and that's what I've done. Regardless to what people think, I've done it.
This is like the fourth time he said that.
He's because he's making a point. Hmm.
I don't want that to be confused with being at peace. It's a process. but I've made my peace. That is the only reason why I made the comment that I have a clear conscience. It was not pertaining to remorse. It wasn't mockery. It wasn't to thumb my nose at anyone. That wasn't what that comment was about. I've chosen to do that because it was needed. It's easy to lose your way in the world because the world is, as we all know, it's
full of people that you can accidentally hit with your car.
Yeah.
That can make it
Yeah.
tough to navigate.
I really thought he was about to go with like the "what a wild and crazy world we live in," like, you know, like the graduation speech, like what a wild ride it's been, what a journey we've been through together here these past 4 years.
If he had
He
said
really,
that, wow, I think I would have fainted.
he almost gets like that in his closing remarks, like with the jury, like we spent the past week together, we heard a lot of things. It's like really bordering on like, oh, we really bonded this past week. Make sure you nullify the murder so I can walk out of here. Fucking psychopath, delusional.
Yeah, delusional. Hmm.
I think
Look,
you all
and
deserve a round of applause if you could get one.
Yeah, yeah.
wow. Also, don't forget, he's pretty much said, he said, look, I've moved on. If you haven't moved on, oh well.
Yeah,
Wow.
sucks to be you.
He's
Yeah,
he's
it sucks to be you.
he's mega ultra
Later,
moved on.
losers.
He's
Yeah.
mega ultra moved on because he's said it like 16 times throughout this speech.
Yeah.
Oh, Darrell.
He's moved on from moving on.
it's a big place. All types of things are out there. All types of
Oh my God, he actually did kind of say that.
Wow. I
It's a
fainted.
it's a big world out there.
Look,
easily get
look at
caught
the
up
judge.
in
Honey,
the world.
play back that judge face, please.
Yeah, if you hit the arrow button on your keyboard, it'll just roll back 5 seconds. Just FYI.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
easy to get caught up in the world.
Looks could kill.
I can't, and I refuse.
She's
to
like,
live
help me.
Yes. Her
the
blinks
rest
are
of
5
my
seconds
life
long.
trying to please other people.
I really can't imagine how angry I would be if I had to sit through this entire speech front to back.
Yeah.
That's why, that's why we call her Saint,
I still
because
have a long way
she's
to
a
go.
better woman than all of us.
Saint-like patience, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I would be trolling my hair.
Well, I
Playing
think
with my
part of it is she's giving him the room to hang himself. You know, it's like she's tossing the
Yeah.
rope over there and be like, "Go ahead, man, tie that knot. Fucking put yourself
Yeah.
up there and jump. Go ahead."
Maybe she's got like a earbud in or something.
She's listening to music. Look, the prosecution are drawing, and she's listening to music.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be great?
I need to be. But my life now is about pleasing God. It's about what He wants, not what I want. It's about what He wants, not what everybody else wants.
He might want you to apologize. Just saying.
Oh, mic drop. I fainted again.
I brought up God's will. Yet another comment that was taken out of context.
Could you pause really
Are you
quickly?
idiots taken out of context? Are you dum-dums?
You say, so it's like another comment taken out of context. That to me tells me that at that time during the trial, they were scouring the YouTube and looking at content. I mean, because why would he say that if there was no one looking at what we were putting out, you know, and
I think
reporting
he
back to
might
him?
be saying it in relation to what the victim said during sentencing, because so many people commented
Uh,
about like his comments about my conscience is
that is
clear.
very true. Oh, I see. I see. Okay, yeah, it was the victims because so
I mean, he
the media was going insane with what he was saying. But you're right. I think he's targeting the victims, not the media.
You could be right
You're right.
though. I mean, like you said, I was shocked to learn recently that inmates have access to internet. So it's I mean, he at one point says, uh, if you go in the comments section of the YouTube videos, the things people say in there is just I forget exactly the word
Yes,
that
he
it's
did
like
say that.
it's like
He did say that.
disgusting how people could say these things about me. I don't understand.
Yeah. He
How
even
could they say these horrible, mean things about me that ran over their family members?
right.
Well, it
Oh
was
boy.
said early on that he had a laptop, or not a an iPad that they gave him to use in jail
Yeah,
for
like a
like
tablet. Yeah,
legal purposes
What?
that he probably just used to jerk off.
yeah.
What
There's
is it?
there's no way he's getting porn on that thing, and like, there must be some level of
Oh,
restriction.
my tax dollars. Just look at it. Look at it fly away into the
Look
garbage. I
at
can't.
them fly away like a butterfly out the window. Fly, 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 fly.
A comment that again was not meant in a disrespectful manner in any way. Was not meant to thumb my nose at anyone in any way. It was the acknowledgement that God is in control of everything. Everything. The good, the bad, and the ugly. He is in control. That's what that was pointed towards. That and that alone.
Can you pause it real quick? Hey Beefy, since you and I think you the one who made me aware that Judge Darrell was you mentioned she was leaning more conservative and very into the religion. Do you think at that moment he was aware of that and he was playing that whole God card because he's stuck on that for so long in order to get into her good graces?
Yeah, a lot of people have that theory that he leans into the whole religion aspect to try and tug at her heartstrings. Ironically, I think it's doing the opposite because
Yeah,
her values and her morals are so well rooted and founded in religion that
yeah,
it probably has the opposite reaction where she has a visceral,
yeah,
rejection to his sentiments about being so, Lord driven and religious based. It's
yeah.
it's like you give us a bad name by you mentioning this
Oh, look at
religion
that.
thing. That's
Yeah.
my personal opinion on it.
Okay.
For those of us who do believe, we always been taught that God, his ways, not ours. What he sees fit to do, we can't stand in the way of it. No matter how much we wish we could, we can't.
They're all
Frankly,
Yeah,
playing
man.
sometimes that sucks.
He is scrolling Facebook right now.
Tetris.
Yeah.
I never thought I would be standing here not being able to enjoy a time with my family that anyone would enjoy with their family. People
You
lost loved
didn't
ones.
What?
anyways. You walked away from all of your kids. What is he saying?
Yeah. It's this crazy manipulation tactics. This is, but you know what? Hey, Beefy and Awesome, this stuff works in real life. Like these stuff of manipulative narrative and all that talking, it works in real life because most people are empathetic and sympathetic, and they'll be like, "Oh, look at that, mommy, uh, uh, sorry man over there crying." In the courts of law, this is where courts crumble narcissists because they can't spin stories. But in social settings, yeah, it works. If someone is Beefy, if someone comes to you like you, let's say you don't know Darrell Brooks. He comes to you, he's like, "Excuse me, can I please borrow your car? My car just maybe not the car, but something just happened to be help, help, help." You would try to help, right?
Yeah,
Right?
it's like a personality flaw. Like
But but
I wouldn't be able to stop myself.
most people would try to do the right thing, and so that's why they prey on the innate goodness of majority of people, and that's why I find them super dangerous because you will never see it coming until it's way too late.
Yeah, you talked earlier about the emotional intelligence of a narcissist, and this is
Yeah,
just pointing to that, right? Like him bringing up this aspect of being a family man when we know the facts point to otherwise that completely
yeah,
contradicted that. It's universal. Like no matter who you're speaking to, people are going to relate to
yeah,
somebody who loves their family and tries to cherish those moments. Even people who just have a mom and a dad. It's
yeah,
he's bringing this up very pointedly to say all of you who have your family members that you care about,
yeah,
I'm being stripped of that. Feel sorry for me. When in reality, you ignored all of your family, and furthermore, you stripped family from all of
yeah,
us. So you
yeah,
spit in our face when you tried to play this card, sir, and it's
yes,
disgusting.
yeah. Good pause again.
I'm sure they feel the same way. They never expected to be here now because of something like this. That is not lost on me. To suggest that I don't care, out of everything that's been said during this whole year, that's probably the hardest one to digest. To suggest that I'm heartless.
He says through his lifeless, beady eyes.
Right, and he's pausing because even he doesn't believe that.
As far as the sentence.
Oh, this is where she finally interjects. Is like, hey,
Yeah, she's like, dude, hurry the f up, man. Like, I gotta comb my hair. I gotta get lunch. What is wrong with you?
Well, he's actually talking in circles. He's just like he keeps saying the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
Are concerned with all of these convictions.
Let's get back on track here. I have a hard time answering that.
Honestly,
And here's
Your
why.
Honor,
is that a judicial determination?
and I don't want.
Again, the idiots to
I
take
don't
this
want
out of
this to be
context.
taken out of context.
He said exactly
Wow.
what you said.
He said exactly how you said.
I believe
I can fly.
there's issues with me attempting to answer that. And here's why.
I had a spam sandwich this morning. I'm not thinking clearly.
I'm still confused.
If he says about the nature and cause of the charges, I'm
still
gonna fucking
confused on the true nature.
smash my. Oh
Oh my
my
God.
god, he's about to fucking do it.
He's gonna
I
say
was
it.
joking. Holy shit, is he
Oh my
seriously
God.
about to say it? Dude, that was a joke. I literally did not know he was about to say that. I literally thought of like the most tone deaf, like horrid, disgusting thing you could say in the context of her asking that question of like, can you address these sentencing? Like you've been going on this whole spiral. That's fucking insane to me.
Yeah.
I don't understand the nature and cause of the charges. Wow.
Main cause of the charges. I don't understand.
Fucking unbelievable.
I can't breathe.
Look at the defiant look in his eyes.
Yeah, man.
You are really good with your pauses, honey. I guarantee. Like that's amazing. Look at that. Perfect.
No,
That
like
face says it all.
no, he's just photogenic. I mean, watch, I'll
Yeah.
rapid fire it. But he's just holding that one.
Yeah.
He's
So
just
true.
Also,
he's an animated character.
This is the best
Yeah.
part.
His face really does like go to all kinds of crazy places at every second. He's playing it up for a camera though. That's part of it. But this is egregious. I mean, look at Sue. She's like, he's really fucking going here right now.
So it's like,
I also believe the decision was already made
oh my God.
before we even got here, and I
Of course.
could be wrong.
I mean, he's not wrong. Like,
It's not wrong.
we
Of course.
knew you were fucking guilty, bro.
Like, did you guys see the car, the weapon in question? It
Yeah,
was
we talked about
totaled.
this.
Human beings did that, and when I saw that, I was like, no. You mean he
Yeah,
hit
when
a
you
hole.
when you
He hit
look at the level of damage that hood is crinkled.
Sprinkled
To think about the logistics of meat, like muscle
meats?
and bone,
Yep.
causing that.
Yep.
I've seen cars that have driven directly into brick walls,
Yep.
fucking cement and
Yep.
steel beams,
Yep.
cause less damage than
that.
meat. And I hate to say it like that because it's like
No, it's true.
kind of gruesome, I guess is the word, but it's the facts. Unfortunately, like
It really goes to tell you this MF didn't give a crap. He was like, oh, look at that, one person. Oh, look at that, two people. Oh, look at that, three people. Yeah, if to like to put yourself in that. I didn't see the video, by the way, because I don't have the stomach. But when you look at the way the car ended up, imagine that moment in as he's driving the car, and you know he was not driving, listening to music, was cursing the hell out of something. You know how he is. Probably
yeah.
saying, yeah.
What did it for me is during one of the officers' testimony when he talks about him pulling over to the side and there's room on either side for him to swerve around people.
I know.
And he swerves
Oh,
into them.
I know.
Into them.
I know. And then look.
That was like for me.
Oh yeah.
How can you even make any argument against this being intentional at that point?
And then the other part where like he actually stopped the car, pushed the grandma out of the car, and continued.
And then ran her over.
Like really?
He did
like,
that?
Yeah.
I didn't know
Like,
he did that. So he got out of the car and he pushed an old lady off the car and then ran her over?
No. It's not that egregious. She's like stuck on his windshield, and so he comes to like complete stop. And one of the guys, I'm pretty sure, Alistair, I know what you're talking about, where he testifies, he's like leaning out the window to try to get her off his hood, and eventually succeeds in that play, I believe, by like doing that start-stop thing.
He assists,
and then,
because the judge mentions that he doesn't get out of the car, but he helps remove the lady off of his hood and continues his murderous rampage.
Oh, okay, I think that's when he like pumped the brakes. Like he pumped the brakes to like launch her off the. That's okay.
Yes.
That I did know.
And then
about.
ran her over. Because if you're in the say he's in the psychological daze.
Yep.
You have the ability to stop the car. You've just expressed that to us by that testimony.
Yep.
So if you're able to come to the mental conclusion that you need to stop the car to get the person off of your windshield, you can make the same connection that he would have the same ability to stop the car when he starts hitting people.
Exactly.
So him starting and stopping to get her off of the hood and then also proceed to run her over is like
ridiculous.
That is a vicious testimony that this act was intentional.
This man was like, he was like, today I'm going to kill. Who? You. That's why. That's in his mind. That's why he was like, "Oh,
I saw in J9's recent video that she theorizes that Brooks basically had come to the conclusion that he was going to murder Erica before he even leaves the house, like when he's asking Don Woods
Yeah.
for gas money. You know, just
yeah,
based on the events that led up to that event. That, I mean, he was basically looking at
to kill her."
if not decades, life in prison, anyways, based on him running her over and then the gun charges with his nephew that were both lingering. He was extremely lucky to get on bail. He was basically going to go out on the run, I think. I mean, there was no way he was going to be shown up for those court dates to face a 10-year sentence.
Yeah, of course, because
So
he ran away already.
He was going scorched earth, no matter what. Like, the stakes had been raised to such a high boiling point.
Yeah.
He was driving to Waukesha with murderous intent, regardless of the outcome of how things went with Erica. She just happened to get lucky that her friends were there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my God. Good point. She was lucky her friends were there. Oh my God.
And then, yeah, unfortunately, the 70-plus people in the parade became the placeholder for. He made his mind up. He was murdering. He was murdering when he came to Waukesha, one way or another.
Yes, he made his mind up.
Fascinating theory, and I give it validity. It makes sense. It conforms to the evidence, and it conforms to his behaviorals.
Yep, I agree.
Anyways, this has been fun, guys. This was a great conversation in this one. I'm really glad we all got together. We should do this again.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's gonna do it. I really hope you liked this one. I think you will. Even as I was editing this video, I found myself just getting sucked back into the conversation, so that's usually a good sign. Like I said in the intro, I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with Alistair and Nawson's channel. Alistair of a Pact Nation, but on the off chance you're not, I highly recommend you go check him out. It's just been such a joy getting to know him and work with him. He's such a kind soul. I've reached out to a few other DB creators, and I can personally attest they are not all that way. I can assure you. All the rumors you hear about content creators being catty and only out for themselves, it's true. You can tell when someone is being genuine, and I think it really shines through here with Alistair. They don't have to put in a bunch of work and a bunch of jump cuts to edit themselves, so you're only seeing the best versions. The people that are truly authentic, it shines through from the screen. They can just show up and be themselves, and it's pure. You can tell. Really quick before we go, I'd like to ask just a quick favor, you guys. If you enjoyed these Darrell Brooks videos and appreciate all the time and effort I put into the, all the artwork I make myself and trying to get everybody into the videos and blah blah blah, I really want to bring you guys the content you want, which just seems to be the Darrell Brooks content, and that's fine. I just maybe quickly request that you give one of my other videos a try. Just maybe check that out. I have an analysis on the Gwyneth Paltrow case that's very similar to my solo Darrell Brooks videos. It's the same format. I just posted another one from Judge Simpson's courtroom, too. You could check that one out. Obviously you're going to watch what you're interested in. If you're only here for the DB content, hey, I'm here for it. Believe me, I'm thankful. But I'm hoping at least a percentage of you guys will stick around once the Brooks bubble pops, so to speak. So, I just quickly ask, if you have a few minutes, maybe just give another case a case on the channel a try. Maybe in just the first few minutes. If you like it, great. And if not, move about your day. I would really appreciate that. I'm planning on making more YouTube videos for a long time to come. So the more of you that check out my other stuff and interact with those videos and enjoy them, the better I'll get it. Knowing what you guys enjoy as a subscriber and try to gear the content towards those interests. So, with that, I won't do any more YouTube plugging. I'll let you guys go about your life. I'll just say thank you so much for watching this video the entire way through and coming to my channel at all in the first place. I'm very grateful for your view, every single one of you. I can't say how appreciative I am that you guys come here and flock to these Darrell Brooks videos, and that I get to do this for the audience that I have. I'm truly thankful. And so to you specifically, I just want to say thank you for watching this. Hopefully I'll see you in the next Darrell Brooks video or in one of the other ones if you do go check that out. And if not, enjoy the rest of your day or night, whatever it is when you're watching this, and I'll see you around, okay? Alright, thanks guys. Bye now.